Well, just text the person and make sure he'll be there in like 45 minutes before you go. Yeah?
Do you have an address?
No. Well, hopefully. Just say we were chatting about the carpet tools. Right?
It's Liz and Lisa.
Not right now. What's up, guys? Can you hear me? Check this out. Check this out. Man, where's Keith? Is Keith on here yet? Keith, oh my God, guys. I have one hell of a story to tell you guys. That's why I look like this morning right here, because I have just caught a seller on a bunch of bullshit with my buyer in regards to a massive fucking bill for a sewer line on a big city street of Seattle. Totally just fucking busted them big time. Sorry for the F-bombs. You guys all can unmic yourself if you want to. But I have, I look like this because I've been out in the rain with Pioneer Plumbing all morning, who massive shout out to Pioneer Plumbing. Not only are they a quick response, but these guys just saved my buyer from probably a $50,000 bill of bullshit that this fucking seller, who is like a builder type, is trying to get away with. And I just caught him. Bam. You guys my buyer is a veteran. This guy is buying a duplex in Seattle. Sorry to like kick it off like this, but that's why I look like this, and I don't care, because I feel I'm going to lose $30,000 today, but I'm doing the right thing. Okay. I'm going to lose $30,000 today because I'm doing the right thing. This guy, my buyer is using a VA loan to buy a duplex, which is like 2 houses. Dion, you like these, the side-by-sides. I got this guy a side-by-side duplex in Seattle. Each unit is almost 1,600 square feet. It's awesome, right? He could buy a house in West Seattle for $600,000 and have to pay up to $3,000 in his mortgage payment. But instead, we're getting 2 houses, and he's going to pay less than $3,000 due to the second unit. He's going to live in one. The second unit's going to pay down his mortgage, right? It's a great deal. It's like getting 2 houses for the price of one near Green Lake. And this MFer, thank God, guys, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back here, because I went over there to investigate. I asked them, get me a bid to line the sewer while it's open, and we're down there. We want a bid to line the sewer. They never responded. They didn't bother getting me the information. Today's the last day of our inspection. As soon as I told them there was a sewer line issue, they went and got it done right away. Okay. They didn't tell us they were getting it done. They just went and got it done. The fucking hole is still open. Okay. For the sewer line repair. So I go over there and I see it's still open, and I'm saying, wait a minute. Okay. I appreciate that you're getting the work done quickly under the radar, but where's my sewer line? My sewer liner repair bid, right? It's being inspected today. The hole's being filled back in. What the fuck? So I drive, long story short, I'm about to blow up my own deal. My buyer doesn't even know this yet, but I'm gonna basically, part of this old sewer line runs in underneath the old oil tank that's been decommissioned. Okay. And there's concrete underneath it. So it's dangerous it needs to be lined underneath there to the house. So nobody has to fuck with this oil tank, which then could have an issue. Then you got a leak. You guys following me? This MFer knows all this and is trying to get it done. Told the Pioneer Plumbing guys, keep your mouth shut if anybody shows up here. And I basically said, what's up, guys? The buyer's a veteran. Okay. We love everybody, but this guy, we're not going to hose this guy. I'm here to protect my guy. What's up? They spilled the whole story to me. I'm like, mother effer, you know? So if anybody needs any assistance with anything you want to know about side sewers, sewer line repairs, and not only that, you know, we're going, the main leads to a major Seattle street, right? Where the panels are going to be $10,000 a piece to touch. You guys following what I'm saying? So I look like this. What's up, Lika? Because I have been in the sewer today in a ditch. Literally, I didn't jump in, but these guys did with my camera, and I motherfucker busted this guy. And I am going to lose $30,000 because of this, but I'm going to save my buyer from some bill that he could get for 50 grand, right? A veteran, right? So this is bullshit and I'm pissed, but I want to say Pioneer Plumbing, big shout out, man. Big shout out to Pioneer Plumbing. Class act. I don't, you know, there you go. I'm done. I look how nice Lika looks today. And look at what I look like. This is what it looks like when you help your clients. When you're,
Hey, I've just been in a sewer too.
yeah,
Look like this, you know.
this is what it looks like when you do your job as a good broker and investor. Okay. I was out in the rain, you know, my kids, I let them screw up their school morning because I'm trying to help my guy. So while I'm sad that I'm not going to get a check for $30,000, I don't care because it feels better to save this guy. You see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, most brokers would not go this far to, I mean, it's like already covered up and I'm like, I see the metal plate is still there. Now they're telling me that they're going to get me the invoice for the work tomorrow because the inspection from the city is tomorrow and it's not considered closed. Well, guess what? The fucking city inspector showed up while I was there. So the guy's lying to me. Get out of here. There's my story. So that's a good one.
So Julie, I hate to be the slow kid in class, but you're going to have to unpack this for me. So basically the builder was trying to repair the sewer.
No.
Without you knowing about it, or?
No. So I had a sewer, sorry guys, do you guys want to hear the story? Yeah, thumbs up if you want me to tell you what happened, or should we just move on? I'll tell Rick separately, okay? So what happened is I got my guys buying a duplex, okay? It's awesome, we love it. It's very well maintained. I mean, things pristine, yet it has old, a lot of old systems, which I quantified everything. I got the furnace guys out there. I got electricians out there. I got all, we just quantified what the challenges are or whatever, and we're good, okay? Then I had a sewer scope done. The sewer scope revealed the hole in the sewer line, right? And the hole was only down about 6 feet, you know, on the property, which is no big deal. As we know, as brokers and investors, 6 feet down ain't that big of a deal. $6,000 repair to take care of this issue that we responded to on our inspection report. However, it's on a major Seattle street, on a main drag, on a corner of a main drag in Seattle near Green Lake. And my guys at Seattle Sewer Inspection, Brevin and Aaron, we had Brevin, love them. Big shout out to my boys over there, that they said, hey, while you're down there and since it's open, you know, you should line it. You should line the sewer because it's only 120. It's not that expensive necessarily to line the sewer once it's down there and the line's open, okay? So you're basically killing two birds with one stone, and there's actually some heavy wear towards the main, which you never want to get to the main in the city of Seattle and touch any concrete panels or any of that other shit out there, or you're looking at a huge bill, right? So
Julie, you're still on your property, right?
what?
You're still on the property. You're not in the street.
On the subject property. We're still on the subject property.
Okay.
So we replace the area of the hole and this crack that's only a couple inches away. So we haven't, our final inspection day is today at 9 p.m. Okay. So without us being through our inspection, okay, they went immediately and called Pioneer and got the work done. Okay.
Without lining it.
They went, nobody ever said anything about lining it. They went and they said, I said, they went and started the work and they did the work. The work is done. They sent me a photo of the work, which I posted on SIC, right, yesterday. And I'm like, how's this look to you guys or whatever? So, but since they got the work done, I said, oh, well, geez, you didn't even let us know you were going to do the work. Work's already done. They're ready to like start filling it in, just waiting on the city inspector to come out, right? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I need to have all my questions answered. I clearly and specifically asked you about a bid and if we could line the sewer line it, okay? Because partial concrete pipe and, you know, while we're down there, and nobody bothered to answer the question. So I called first thing this morning to the other agent and I said, hey, you know, what's the deal? I asked you if we could get the information. I'm not expecting the seller necessarily to pay to line it. I don't know what I just want the information and then we're going to decide what we're going to do, right? We're already down there. You know, Seattle and Sewer Inspection, you know, those guys are legit and everything's good. We need to know. So do you know if Pioneer does lining? I don't know. I go, well, then I'm going to call them. So I call up Pioneer. I'm like, you guys do lining? They're like, oh yeah, we sub it out, but we have great guys. We totally can do that. I'm like, okay, well, you guys have an open job, an open hole. We're just waiting on inspection. He goes, yeah, I know where you're at. I go, okay. While it's open, is this, because the broker was saying, oh, the city's probably going to make them close the hole, not just have this open hole. I go, I don't know. Are they? If we are going to do more work? So he goes, yeah, no problem. We could do that. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, we told him we could do it, but he didn't want to do it. I'm like, what the fuck? Really? So they're telling me that they don't have the information, that they don't even know. So there's one lie. Okay. There's one lie right there. I'm like, I'm going over there. I go over there to see what's going on because there's all these extra markings now on the curbs and stuff. Like what other work? Somebody's been spraying around like there's going to be some other work done there in the area. So I'm like, what's going on over here? To my luck, the fucking Pioneer Plumbing guy, the guy on the phone, the project manager says, my guys are probably over there waiting just for the inspector to show up and start filling it in. I go, hold up, let me run over there. So I run over there and I end up seeing the Pioneer guy and he's like, yeah, look at this. And he tells me the whole fucking story, right? That the owner knows about this and said, don't talk to anybody. He goes, but I don't work for the owner. So
the issue was that the sewer runs under the oil tank.
An old concrete pipe, like at least a 4-foot section, it'd be easy to line it.
Right.
Runs under the oil tank while they're down there, and it's right there. They just could line it, right? Uh-huh. Because if you have to do it later, or that concrete pipe breaks underneath the oil tank, then all of a sudden I got to dig the tank out. Now it could leak and now I'm in remediation. Now I'm whatever. Fuck that. It's so easy to line it while you're down there. Okay. 1. Number 2, line it to the street, to the main, because if I have a problem near the main, which it's starting to wear, the guy says, I already see a crack. We told him to line it. He didn't want to do it. Now they're telling me they're acting like they don't know. Right. So I'm like, look we got a veteran. I don't care who's buying it, but this guy, we're not going to set this guy up for anything, because I was like, I'm not going to offer up my, we can't line a pipe where we don't own the place. So the seller needs to line it. And they're like, well, we'll just leave it open if it can be left open and you can line it afterwards. I'm like, no, I'm not going to poke a bear on a sewer line. Who knows what goes wrong? Whoop. Got to stop talking now because Keith jumped on. Keith, yeah. Anyways, guys, seriously, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But I will circle up with you guys. I'm going to post.
You want me to leave? I could leave.
I'm going to post a video of what this is all about on SIC later. Once I get it all sleuthed out, but it's pretty interesting. Keith's the lender, so I don't want to. Keith, we're talking about Josh's deal. And I
already saw the Facebook pictures.
Yeah. So, well, guys, I'm gonna post a video about it on SIC later today once we get resolved and closed on this whole thing. But pretty interesting stuff, needless to say. right here. Rockstar lender, Keith Pitch, right here. VA loan. We got a VA loan with Keith. So speaking of VA loans, I'm going to switch subjects now, guys. Okay. Speaking of VA loans, what I learned about VA loans, there's from you guys, and Dion is here. McNeely, if you haven't listened to the podcast that we recently did a couple weeks ago with Dion, for God's sakes, listen to it. Joe, if you're listening, drop it in the show notes, please, down here in the chat so everybody can listen to it. You know, this guy made me cry. I had to step away from the podcast at the end because he almost made me cry. I got all teary like a girl. But I loved it. But VA loans get a bad rap. Let's talk about why VA loans get a bad rap, and it's BS, and why we need to be helping our veterans use these loans more and more, and educating the stupid brokers around us that are afraid to accept VA loans. Through the process of helping my guy, I've even learned some stuff that if any of you are veterans out there, you need to be fully taking advantage of this. For example, as you may or may not know, your buyers, or if you're a buyer, you get to avoid your PMI, which is a big deal, even if you're putting less than 20% down, right?
Yep.
So the myths and the bad things that brokers and sellers, or brokers try and talk to their sellers about not accepting VA loans, is that the appraisals are hard, right? And honestly, I just got through clean as a whistle with Keith here on a VA appraisal. No issue on a place that has old systems, and you know, it was a non-issue. And not only that, I almost fell off my chair this morning when Keith told me that the appraisal was in. That was fast, right, Keith? So
Super fast.
This bullshit, maybe you all should be doing your VA loans through Keith, okay? But the bullshit on it is that there's a myth out there that VA loans are bad appraisals and tough appraisals, and they take forever. And did you also know, aside from your buyer being able to put less than 20% down and avoid PMI, which is expensive, right? They can also pay off their credit card bills. They can pay bills off if, let's say, if they qualify, right?
To qualify. In order to qualify, they could pay off bills from seller concessions.
Right. So if you got a seller that was willing to pay towards the buyer's closing costs and prepaids, that buyer could use some of those funds to pay off some of their debt, to help them. What if they didn't need it to qualify though, Keith? Like Josh, let's say, doesn't need it to qualify, but yet he'd like to have his, $5,000 balance on his car paid off, and there's enough coming from the seller on a credit to do that. Would that be allowed?
Totally. Yeah,
You
you can do that.
I'm going to do a podcast. Lika, sorry, you can't steal my idea because you're a podcaster and webinars are great. You got to let me go first because it's my idea. I'm going to do it with Keith. I'm going to do it with maybe somebody else, maybe 3 people. We love Lika. Lika has awesome webinars and podcasts that we're going to tell you guys about in a minute. But I want to roll with this, if you'd let me, Lika. And I want to put a spotlight on VA and, the myths, and let's bust those together on educating brokers and sellers on why it's okay to accept a VA loan. And let's help our people out here, right?
I mean, especially in King County, Julie, when you go north or you go south or you even go west, Pierce County, Snohomish County, and Kitsap County, they're open arms. But when you send over a VA deal offer letter with a pre-approval to an agent in King County, that they're treated like a second-rate citizen.
Correct.
And it fucking pisses me off. I'm
Right.
sorry.
So you guys,
It's ridiculous.
I have actually 2 listings right now, and they both have VA loans on it.
Awesome.
And one of the brokers, the selling brokers, like I was one of those people that I was just like, VA loan, like I'm worried about this. And that's why we didn't even put in VA in the, loan terms. So I spoke to her, and she's mainly a VA selling broker. and she has closed 25 VA loans. And she says it's almost easier to close a VA loan because it doesn't matter what the buyer's financial situation is, because, you know, the bank is basically lending 100%. So it so far has been pretty amazing, but we haven't gotten to like that appraisal stage yet.
Mhm.
So I can talk about it like once we're through that, but just so you know, I mean, that
There you
What type of
go.
properties, Lika? What are the properties?
one is Tacoma, the other is SeaTac.
Oh, that's why, right? So, you know,
I mean, Lika can be our converted listing agent turned VA lover, because
and me too.
it's legitimate. So to Lika's point, VA, you can do 100% financing. They have the most liberal debt to income ratio requirement of any of the underwriters. The VA is really there to help facilitate veterans, both active and what's the word? Active, and when they retire, they are former military. That's not the word I'm looking for. Somebody throw it in there. But to help them,
Veteran.
thank you, to help them get into houses. It's easy. It's super easy. And I will say this: the knock on a VA appraisal, what I've always found when I've had issues on VA appraisals, and I go back and I flip through the pictures in the appraisal and I look at the comments the appraiser made, it's because a listing agent was trying to sell a crappy property that would have 90% of the time been called out on a conventional appraisal anyway, right? So then they just link the two together and say, oh, that's your VA appraiser again. The only issue with VA that I see is when you get into a more rural community, let's say McCleary, or you get up somewhere up into the north of the peninsula, you could have an extended turn time because the appraisers, there's fewer appraisers for VA than there are for the other boards. So you just have to keep that in mind, but it is such an awesome product to be able to go out there and get it done.
One of the brokers on my team does a bunch of VA and FHA. She's up in, it's Julia Phillip. If any of you guys know Julia, she's awesome and a character and funny. And she says FHA is much tougher actually than VA.
Correct.
On the appraisals, right? But let me just say one other thing that Dion, you can unmic yourself if you want, mentioned in the chat. Go ahead, I'll let you say it yourself, Dion. Go ahead.
Right. It's one of the things I found a lot of veterans had a mental block on, where we've been told for decades that you can have one VA loan, and the lender here, Keith can actually probably correct me, but there's an amount limit. So if you could qualify for up to 900,000 for small multifamily, and you got one for 300, and then a year later another for 300, that could be a VA loan again. So if you're working with veterans, they don't have that one and then you're done, or they think they have to refinance out of it to get the next one, and that's not true up to that limit.
Or when they get stationed somewhere else, they think they have to sell their house here, and not buy, and then in order to buy the next one at their next base, what have you. If we could get to veterans and show them how to build a real estate portfolio every time they were relocated, they would have a passive income stream.
Let's do it.
In their service.
Dion,
Let's do it. They would have this huge passive income stream.
There are people who do that every time they get stationed somewhere. They just keep their house and move and rent it out. I was in the Air Force for 6 years, and I was going to note that both of my houses that I purchased in LA and here have been VA loans, which I've paid only for the inspection, and that was it. So like $400 got me into both of my houses. And
awesome.
I had no problems in the beginning. I was told by agents that people frowned on VA loans, but my experience wasn't that anybody had a problem with it.
Yeah, let's get the word out, man. Let's get the word out. Okay, SIC's mission. Let's get the word out. Come on, guys. Let's all do this. Cool. Keith, what is the limit? Is that Dion's mentioning? Is there a cap or a limit on funds borrowed?
So VA is looking for a guarantee of 25% of the purchase price, right? Or excuse me, of the loan amount. right? So if you're doing 100% financing, your VA benefit will give you a high balance limit of 25%. So it'll take 741, 750, multiply that by 0.25. That's your guarantee. It's there. So to Dion's point, I've got a client right now who's relocating up here, and I forget where he's coming from, but his purchase price was $81,000 down. He's down south somewhere. I want to say Arizona or something. But he's coming up here. He's going to retain that house because he used 25% of the $81,000. So that was very small portion of that. So he still can go up to the 741, 750 as far as guarantee fee is concerned, and buy another house. So he's going to buy a house up here for like 390 and still be zero down.
So are we talking about like in Seattle, the FHA type limits of what are we at?
741, 750.
So is that what you're talking about on the limit?
Correct.
Like, so 25% of the purchase price goes towards counting towards the cap of
Of the loan amount.
of the loan amount, of 25% of the loan amount. So giving me example with our own deal right now with Josh. Loan amount.
So Josh is doing a $990,000 purchase of a duplex. And so of that, he wanted to do as much leverage as he can. So we backed into a loan amount number of $962,000. And so he's bringing in that roughly 5.25%. So that way he meets the guarantee fee of VA's requirement. So it's super powerful. It's the cheapest way that for veterans to get into multifamily for sure. The one thing in Josh's case is unlike FHA will allow you to use the income of the other units. VA will not, unless you've been a landlord for the prior 2 years.
There's a big significant thing to know.
Yeah.
Let's repeat what you just said.
FHA, when buying an owner-occupied multifamily, will allow you to use the other unit's income to qualify at 75% of the rent.
Right.
VA will allow you to do that only if the borrower has been a landlord for 24 months.
Got you. So, and the difference between why you would want to go VA in that case versus FHA is due to PMI.
Well, yeah, you got PMI. And the other thing in this case, the rate was better for VA. VA is typically one of the better rate environments out there. I mean, it's just screaming deal.
All good stuff.
Yeah.
All
So,
good stuff.
When we looked at the two, like Josh had to bring in 5% in this case, and his payment, had he gone FHA with 3.5% down, which he could have done, his payment would have been almost $800 more expensive a month because of the MI.
Right.
Yeah, so that's huge when you're looking at cash flow.
Word. See, guys, knowledge is power. Okay. Knowledge is power, right? This is our goal, is to just inform everybody. Boy, that's just powerful stuff to know that right there, right?
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff to know there. There is no limit though on how much, like somebody erroneously said, if like Seattle's cap is what, 741 on FHA or something?
Yeah.
It's not like VA has that cap. It's the other calculation, right? Because obviously we're borrowing more than 741 on Josh's deal.
But loan limits are based off a number of units. So single family residence is different than duplex, which is different than triplex, which is different than fourplex.
So what does that mean then? So because we're a duplex, we're 741 times 2?
Yeah, well, no, not times 2. We get a kick up to like 951. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good intel. You guys following that?
Yep.
Man, this is good. I don't know if you guys are, I don't care about what we're talking about today, but I'm jacked up. So I am enjoying this conversation. And just as a reminder, is this is the kind of shit we talk about. And I am cussing a lot today because smart people cuss. Okay. And I don't give a shit. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm over it. I'm not going to do it anymore. I apologize. Okay. But I think it's true. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Like King County, a duplex high balance loan limit is $949,600. A triplex is 1.147 million, and a quadplex is 1.426.
Can you do me a favor, Keith? Can you take that information and post it on SIC and basically say, hey, great chat this morning on the roundup, on the round table. And Julie wanted me to let you guys all know what the VA, multifamily loan limits are in case you need to know, and because you need to know. So
Keith, I got a quick question. This is Rochelle. I got a quick question for you. So is it determined on how long and what rank they were in the service and what branch?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
There's minimum
good
limits
question.
you have to be in duty. So like, for example, if you go into the Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, or the Air Force, there's a different requirement than if you went into the reserves.
Got it. Well, so all of my friends, I know a lot of VAs for whatever reason. I'm working with them right now, and they're out of the Marines.
Okay.
Again, my neighbor in particular, she thought she could only qualify for 350. Now we are in Kittitas County. I don't know if that matters. And my second question is, can we get her a passive income buy and hold in Pittsburgh? And is the value different? Is it based on the county, I guess?
Yeah, it's county specific. The loan limits are county specific.
Okay.
So yeah.
So county, service, and branch, basically.
Yeah. So, what we do is pull what's called a certificate of eligibility.
Okay.
And if they are no longer active and they've been discharged, we need to get their DD 214.
Yeah, got it.
Discharge paperwork, and we can tell you exactly what they qualify for.
Okay. All right. So can I get I sent you a private message. Can I get your contact information? I'd like to work with a few. I've got like half a dozen that are around me that I would love to help with them.
What's interesting, we're talking like we're a broker helping somebody here, but as an investor, this information for you guys that are not brokers, which if you're an investor, in my opinion, you should have a license because you're leaving so much money on the table. It's insane.
There it is. It's weekly. There's the message.
Hand slap. Somebody.
I'm not a broker yet. So
but that's what made me think about this, Rochelle, because
I know. We've had
all I'm saying is that, but regardless, forget it. You don't need to use this information that we're talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
Today.
Yeah.
So that's the point, is that let's say you guys are investors and you're coming across an off-market deal and the seller is a veteran. You can help them get moving along into something nicer, cleaner, better, right? By educating them on the fact that they can use their VA to move to a better situation than maybe why they called you. Maybe they're in a distressed house of some sort, right? And so this isn't just information for brokers and stuff. This is information for helping people, period.
Yeah.
And as investors, we are problem solvers and we solve problems. As brokers, we are problem solvers and we solve problems. We just get paid in different ways, but we can all use the information to help people, which is a win-win-win-win for everybody, right? So I want to make sure I'm saying, while I want to give you the get your license talk, so you have it. You don't have to act like a real estate broker, right? You don't have, but it sure is a lot easier for me to pay Rochelle a referral fee. She didn't have to lift a finger as a real estate broker doing any real estate broker work. But why would you you have to buy all your inventory at Costco, let's say, for your business, right? Costco, equivalent of the MLS. Why would you go to your neighbor and say, hey neighbor, can I borrow your Costco card to buy all my inventory for my business? Right? That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you just get your own card? It's the same thing with real estate. So it costs you a couple $1,000. I mean, if you're worried about a couple $1,000 as a real estate investor, then you aren't really a real estate investor. Frankly, you need to partner with somebody that, isn't worried about a couple $1,000 until you're not worried about a couple $1,000. That's all I'm saying. Because then if you have your license, you're sure going to get that couple $1,000 back fast. So all I'm saying, I'm done. I'm hyper today. I didn't even drink all my coffee.
Yeah.
All right.
I do want to say one thing. Leica said something that she doesn't put VA on her listing eligibility for financing. I would be really careful about that because veterans are a protected class. And if you're marketing something and you're leaving out a segment of a protected class that could be eligible for your single family residence and you're not putting that out there, that could open you up for a liability of a fair housing claim. So I would just be very cautious about excluding underwriters because you didn't want to deal with that particular borrower.
Good answer. Although it's not the liability of the agent, it's the liability of the owner because the agent is just doing what the owner wants. But yes, good point. Right?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we have a new crusade, everybody. Right on.
I think that there's one more thing that I add, Keith. I don't know. The amounts changed since I got my last house to this house. But the one caveat for VAs, if you're trying to be using your VA as like an investment property, the one term they always kept in there was you have to have the intent of living in the place. So I don't think you can still buy a property under the VA loan and rent it out immediately. You have to, that works for people who get stationed in the middle of, it's like a year. You have to, year, something like that.
What do you say about that, Dion?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Kenny. You're exactly right.
Yeah, so they're just like an FHA loan as far as owner occupied goes. And a lot of veterans will say, and they'll do the air quotes, intent to occupy. But I mean, if you don't actually plan on living there, that's fraud. So you have to have a good reason, work changed, what town you want to live in changed. I've had one friend that got out of it, his PTSD kicked in because the new place was right by a 7-Eleven, too many people, whatever it was, but something justifiable to say why you don't actually move in. And it's more of a time delay device. It's not that some police force comes out and finds out where you live, but in that 12-month period from when you closed on a VA loan or an FHA loan, you can't initiate another one until after 12 months pass. That's really how the checks and balances for that work.
Even though you can have more than one at a time?
You can, but you have to wait more than a year. So, I mean, that's kind of been my model. I haven't used the VA loan yet, but or do another owner occupied. Yeah,
or to Dion's point that, within that first year, there's a credible reason why you need to go buy another house, another owner occupied house.
Right.
The most common use in that, and to Dion's point, is I've got guys that come in or gals that come in, they get let's say they get transferred here to Joint Base, they buy something in Tacoma, and then within 9 months, they get shipped off to another place. Happens all the time, right? So in that case, in their wherever they're landing, they can go buy another owner occupied, and that is a legitimate reason for buying using the VA benefit again.
And the reason why I said intent like that is because when I was in the military, we were all scared to buy a place because we didn't know when we were going to get shipped out somewhere else. So I've been to 5 different bases. I would have had houses all over the place, but I was terrified of having a property and then them saying, oh, you're out of here, and then still be responsible for it. But with the intent being there, it kind of loosens the pressure of, I just got here, I'm going to go buy a house, because if I get orders 3 months from now, I can still keep that. And it's not a one and done type of thing. And that's another piece of education that I've been telling people that are still in that I know. It's like, no, like it's reverse. It's giving you a way out to still own a home. And if you get orders, it's not your fault. Not, the other way around, where if you buy a house here, you're stuck with it and you can't use your VA again when you go to the next base. So
what would be cool? It'd be cool for like me and Keith and Kenny and Dion. Maybe even invite Leica in to do our own little Zoom that we record and just have like a little fireside chat on this subject matter that we record. And then we just all put it out as a podcast, essentially.
I love it.
Just a group chat with Kenny, Dion, me, Keith, and maybe Leica, because she's, turned, right? Something like that. Plus Leica's got a good fan base that we can blast it out to, right? And let's work together to put the word out. Right? I love it. I think it's a goal. So I'm gonna circle up back with you guys and we're gonna do something like that. Who's, you guys in? Kenny, Dion?
Totally. Yeah,
Right
and Kenny, you hit the nail on the head, man. There's so many men and women that are serving right now that they're scared because exactly that. If I get relocated and get new orders in 3 months, I'm not owner occupying it. So they just don't do it. It's so sad.
Okay, guys, it's 12:15. I'm gonna switch gears real quick here, and I appreciate you putting up with me today. I hope that you've enjoyed learning about all this, because it's valuable information, whether you're a broker, an investor, or a veteran yourself, right? It's all good stuff, man. We love these deep dives. So I want to switch gears first to say, does anybody have anything they need to throw out to the crowd here that they need help with? Anybody need something? Need a pair? Run an idea? Wondering something?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Kind of for the hive mind. It's a new situation for me. I'm closing on a triplex, and the county inspected the septic, and they signed off on it so that it's okay, but it's non-conforming. They said sewer is available if I ever want to connect. What does non-conforming mean as far as septic goes? Because I've heard like if it's multifamily, so that part's conforming, but the septic isn't conforming, and I have no idea what that would mean.
I believe what it means is that it isn't conforming. Maybe you got grandfathered in on something, or maybe there's not the bedroom counts more than the septic is designed for, but it was acceptable back in the day. I think you're good to go. What county?
Thurston County.
Thurston County. You know, Aaron Royce probably will help and know the answer on that. Aaron Royce. Look him up in Seattle Investors Club, AARON ROYCE, and say, hey, Julie told me to check in with you on something in Thurston County. She thought you might know the answer.
Yeah, and to echo that sentiment, Julie's absolutely right. There's one part of that septic system that is not applicable to today's code, as far as I understand it. And what that means, Dion, is when that septic system fails, not if, when that septic system fails, you're going to have to come to market, right? So you'll either have to redesign, or since they disclose that sewer's available, they're going to make you hook up. You're not going to be able to put a new septic system in that. But yeah,
cool. That makes sense.
You know, the first thing a buyer might think is, oh, that's a negotiation point with me. I can ask, because I'm going to be forced to do this if it fails. Sellers are never going to, in my experience, likely ever to agree to fix anything that they don't have to. Right. So
no, it was signed off by the county, so I'm okay with that. And I've got a bunch of other concessions from the seller already anyway, so I'm very happy.
Oh, awesome. Well, give Aaron a shout, or don't, but good stuff. And congrats on getting your next triplex. How many doors is that going to be for you now? 15 or something?
14. Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Hey, Rochelle, go ahead. You put something in the chat. Let's get it out. Go ahead. Well, you tell everybody. We welcome everybody.
Yeah, no, I just want to say welcome hi everyone. My name is Rochelle. So for the ladies, there's only a few ladies on here. One now. I run the Seattle chapter REN, so would love to have you join us. I actually have two mobile home parks right now under contract. One in North Little Rock and one in the Carolinas, South Carolina. If anybody knows, and maybe this is a question for Keith, as far as more of a traditional funding, we'll bring them down with private money, but when we go to refi, because there's definitely a huge value add in both.
Are you going to close on them, or are you going to assign them?
Say it one more time.
Are you going to close on them or assign them?
No, I want to close on them. Definitely close on them. And if anybody's looking to JV, we've got more coming down the pike as well. So
how many pads you got over there?
There's 93 in one, and then with 50-ish park owned, which is interesting. That's a whole nother
What's
adventure.
Your question, Rochelle?
Yeah.
What's your question?
I'm looking for more of a traditional. So once we take them down with private money, the buy and hold, to do a refi out. I'm not familiar with the mobile home space. Are there lenders?
So the best lenders that I've found, and Troy Fisher can back me up on this. The small community banks in whatever towns you're buying those in,
in the towns,
your best way to do it.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
And then I've got the other one, Julie, is
Rochelle, if you don't get an answer on that or whatever, you know, EXP is a national brokerage firm, and I'll just tap
Okay.
into the group in that
Okay.
state. Throw it out there for you. We'll get an answer.
Okay, and then the other one's kind of interesting. I just like to share. It's got 20 pads, again, park owned, and then we've got 6 single families, a duplex and a single family. So kind of fun, right? Out in the
Did you
middle of
get any
nowhere.
seller financing on those, or?
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
What kind of terms you get on that kind of stuff?
Let's see, the seller finance, it's 6% on those smaller ones, 6%, 20 years is what it is. So
What'd you have to
we'll
put
take it.
down?
Yeah, that was my question.
We still putting 20% down.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
awesome.
take it
That's
all day long.
Yeah.
So,
Michelle, I have another one in South Carolina you might want to take over.
I do. Yes, please. Can you send it over? I put my email in the.
I will. And I just got off the phone with somebody, actually my VA did, a mobile home park with a small commercial place in Boise, Idaho that
Ooh.
I'm supposed to be getting emails on here any minute. So you might
Okay.
want to help me with that also.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one as well. Yeah, I'm interested.
Send
I'm
that one
interested
to me too, Kenny.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, so what part of South Carolina? Because I have one of my good buddies.
Hickory. It's Hickory.
How far is that from Columbia?
I still don't think it's very far. I'm not sure. It's.
I just telling you, we have one of my acquisitions guys when we were doing a lot of wholesaling in Seattle Investors Club, Joe and I.
Yeah.
Jacob Barnhill, who's a broker and an investor, is in Columbia. So I have a
Okay.
Columbia connection. Gus has some deals out there, and this is my guy out there that can assist. He's investor minded. He's a go-getter.
Love it.
Also at EXP. You know, so.
And again, we ultimately, you know, we'd like to, you know, build more of a, you know, a buy and hold portfolio around these areas. So.
Right. How
I'll
you
reach out.
but you're gonna have like a ground team that manages that stuff for you, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are those your first parks that you're buying?
Those are the first parks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then I've got another
Michelle,
portfolio.
you know, I'd love to do stuff with you, right?
I know, we got to do it. And then I got a place, a portfolio coming out of Alabama. It's pretty interesting. It's got I think it's a 8-plex, and then there's some single families as well. Again, affordable, cash flows nicely. So waiting for I need some interior pictures of the homes because of course it's only exterior. So I'm like, what am I buying? So again, all in the $1 million range. So they're affordable-ish, right?
Seller financing again?
That one, no, but those are easier. That's easier to get. The mobile home parks are a little tricky, especially when they're half full.
Right on. Anybody else need help with anything? And then I got a question for our friend Bill Exeter. Bill, can you hear me? Okay. Anybody have any other stuff going on they want to talk about? Okay, Bill, what's the word? And now this is our friend Bill Exeter, guys. Again, he's done a podcast or two with us. We love him. He's our 1031 exchange expert. If anybody, you know, is looking to trade up or whatever, you want to connect with Bill on 1031 and any type of deferred, you know, tax deferral plans or thinking or questions, you want to hook up with our friend Bill here. What's the word on the street in your world? Are people, I haven't checked the news lately. Do we have a winner yet? Anybody know? Or are we waiting until tonight? Nothing yet? Okay.
I'm not even sure we're going to hear tonight. It's been a crazy week, that's for sure.
Right on. You know, let me ask you, Bill, are you hearing any chatter down in California? Where are you at? Aren't you in San Diego?
Yep. San Diego.
Are you hearing any chatter on commercial and multifamily with anybody who has a loan maturing in the next 12 to 24 to 36 months, absolutely freaking out and wanting to sell and throw into exchange right now?
We certainly, our 1031 exchange fund has almost tripled in the last 3 months. So there's a lot. I don't see a lot of people panicking yet in terms of wanting to sell, but I think part of it is there's this pent up demand because of all the COVID-19 lockdown. The economy was great. It was just COVID that kind of killed everything. So you get all this built up demand and now it's kicking in, and then you got phenomenally low interest rates and that's kicking in. How
about vacancy though? You know, vacancy. What's on what are you getting opening accounts for, Bill? Is it single family stuff, duplexes, triplexes, or commercial or larger multifamily? What's the flow?
It's actually all across the board. There's still a lot of people changing hands on multifamily, especially in California. They were really concerned about the election with Prop 15 and Prop 21 and things like that. Both of those were voted down. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects the California.
Voted down this week.
This week, yeah. Prop 15 was effectively to increase property taxes on commercial property. And as we all know, it would push it down as a CAM charge to the tenants. So it was really a lie, but that was voted down. And then the Prop 21 was the rent control, and that was voted down. So they're probably a 2-year sigh of relief. We'll see what.
Good news for investors.
Good news for investors. Don't see a whole lot in commercial office yet in terms of problems. Because of COVID, a lot of the landlords were willing to defer payment for 2-3 months, either to the end of this year or the end of the lease term. But
I agree. I understand all that. What my thing is, though, if any of those people, where the golden opportunities are right now is anybody that has a loan maturing, any of these multifamily or commercial buildings that have loans maturing in the next 12 to 36 months, because they've either had to drop their rents, there's a shift. And once you start dropping your rents and giving concessions, and now not only on top of that, the underwriters for the loans are going to have higher requirements, reserve requirements, debt service coverage requirements. They're going to underwrite maybe their vacancy higher. So your appraisals are going to go down. And if your appraisals go down, you'd figure that whoever's in that situation maybe has had a 10-year loan on it and the value is raised so much. So therefore, you're not in jeopardy of your loan amount being closer to a lowered appraisal, right? You've owned it, you put a 10-year loan on as commercial investor, it goes up in value over 10 years, and then, oh shit, you got to drop rents because now the value comes down. Do you get like this or do you get like this? Do you get what I'm saying? You guys following what I'm saying? This is driven by commercial and multifamily loan underwriting and appraisals. So if you have any of that maturing, right, in the next 36 months, you could be in trouble. You know, I remember in the financial crisis of last round, I owned a like a 45,000 square foot retail strip mall down in Lacey, Washington. And what had happened is that I had a big balance sheet partner that basically said, here you go, you own 17% of this building, now go figure the shit out, of which I always do. Hey, I always do. However, I said, why are we buying this? Because there's too much construction happening around here. Why are we buying this? You know, and so exactly what happened is that there was too much construction in the area and it brought the rents down. That right at the time we were going to need to, you know, so we had to keep our rents low, and then our loan was maturing. We had to write a $2 million check. Okay. We had to write a $2 million check, you know? So that was a deferred tax loss, or a tax loss I was able to use on my write-offs, mother effers. So, you know, here you go. Somebody gives you 17% of a 45,000 square foot building. You're like, thanks. Okay, I'll go do my job. And then, but then you get a tax loss.
I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny, but it's funny.
Well, luckily,
It's part of it.
Luckily, they gave me 10% of a $25 million project. So, you know, it all works out just fine, a few of those. But all I'm saying is that where you guys need to be looking for deals, multifamily, commercial, whatever, is on commercial and multifamily, whoever's got loans maturing. But that's only, you know, you'd think they had and maybe let me niche it down further for you. Look for people that had shorter term loans or interest only, I don't know, on commercial. That's a question we should get Joe Whitesall on here. Like, who's in trouble with their loans, right?
I actually got another one out of Austin that it's off market, one of those quiet ones. It's a 15.5 acquisitions with they say the CapEx is $5 million. Again, it's all paid off. I mean, the owners have owned it since the inception. There is work that needs to be done, 1968-ish build, something like that. So if
What is
anybody's
it?
interested, huh?
Multi-family?
Yeah, apartment building. Yeah, down out of Austin, a good area, Austin. So, but it obviously has some deferred maintenance, about 5.5 million.
How many units?
I think that one's 143 or something like that.
So I will tell you that those types of buildings, because that's scraping the surface of an institutional buyer, which will maybe buy as low, some of them at 150 units. Those are always sold off market. I mean, nobody,
Yeah, that's right.
So when you're hearing off market in the multifamily and commercial world, unless it's like an owner user smaller building, off market is the way they roll. So
yeah, but they're very
knows about it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, very, very protective about this one. No drive-bys, right? You do your, the whole best offer thing and do your due diligence from there.
Interesting.
I got a lot of those. So if anybody's interested, just reach out. They keep coming.
Where do you get those from? Is that from your Philly connection guy?
Yeah, no, just chatting. You know me. I love talking and meeting. All these years I've just been meeting people. So now it's just finally coming. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Really
happy
good.
to help.
That's why you need to get your license and join the SC, so you have a national footprint on who your network is, because you would rock that shit. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
I know we've talked about this forever.
Well, I mean, you walk into a national network for yourself, especially you.
Yeah.
You could kill that stuff right there. It's crazy. Anyways, so Bill, I talked to my financial advisor about my panic of this is not a political statement, as Bill and I have done our podcast that you guys maybe heard, or hopefully you should go listen to, about the proposed tax changes if Biden wins, and it's kind of looking like Biden might win, at least for the moment, until it gets challenged and we see what happens. But at least temporarily, I don't know, feels like he might get enough, he's real close, right? So I was talking to my financial advisor, Bill, and I'm like, I got this huge problem with like a $600,000 tax bill. If one of my apartment buildings were ever to sell, which I'm not in control of, even though they have to tell me way ahead of time, and I have all kinds of friends I can do an exchange with if need be. I don't know why they would do that and hammer them too, but my on 1031s in general, my financial advisor, who I love, basically said, I have a way, because there's that $400,000 limit on your income, right? So if you make more than 400, your 1031 and all these other loopholes with the tax laws that are friendly for investors goes bye-bye, right? But my guy, I'll just say, if anybody needs a good financial advisor, if anybody has assets, has a way, he said, that he could bring my income down by like 250,000 for a couple $1,000, right? Because you got to stay below the 400. It's not that hard to get to 400 sometimes. I think it could not,
Yeah. Well, especially with his proposal, people are thinking, oh, most of us don't make over 400, but you sell real estate, your AGI for that year is probably going over 400.
But is the 400 earned income, or includes capital gains income?
He hasn't defined that yet. And normally when they put something like that out, they usually use AGI, and with AGI, most of us won't qualify, because you sell real estate.
There's just no way that he's going to be able to get. So I either think that it'll have where it's not including your capital gains income, or the threshold will be much higher, like it'll be 750 or $1 million. What do you think, Bill?
It could be that. I think the saving grace here, if he wins, is that the Republicans kept control of the Senate. So worst case,
is that official?
What's that?
Is that official?
Not yet, but so far it looks like they've only won 3 seats. That keeps changing, so it's close. But it looks like the Republicans are going to maintain control, and I think that's a good thing, because that way you've got you never want the party to have everything.
Right.
If he submits any tax legislation, it's going to go to the House. House will pass it. Goes to the Senate. Senate will probably kill it. So that's a good thing. I think we're probably a little better than we thought we would be. We still need to take it seriously, still need to talk to it. So we've got a coalition of about 16 trade organizations that are reaching out to the Democratic congressmen who are close to Biden, educating them on why this is a bad thing. And, you know, we've always been successful in the past, but we still need to keep it very seriously.
So if your roundtable ever wanted to do a little fireside chat, that might be my new thing. Like you, me, and your roundtable, and then we record it, and then we say, "Hello, Mr. Biden. We'd like to give you just a recorded discussion for you to watch between the people, rather than, you know, hey, you know, like one-off calls or letters. Let's record a session with your buddies, Bill, like just a fireside chat on Zoom, and then send it to the frickin' our state senators and say, give this to Biden. This is an intelligent discussion about the issues. And we do that. I just put it out there.
Yeah, we'll have to put that together. We did have a webinar about 2 weeks ago with Congressman Schweikert, who's on the House Ways and Means Committee, and he's pro 1031. And there's a great webinar out there too. So
if you can find that webinar, can you drop it into the Seattle Investors Club page? If you find that, that'd be great. Awesome. Anything you guys ever think? We don't have rules on links and all that stuff in SIC. So post whatever you want if you think it's helpful. If I think it's not, I'll delete it. But just so you know, I'm a secret deleter. I don't let you know either. I just do it. And then I'll block you or make you have post approval. But you know, we welcome information. I'm not worried about whether there's links and that's SEO good for our stuff. I don't give a hoot. I just care more about the information. So anybody else before we jump off today? You guys are awesome. Rick, what's going down? How are you guys?
We're doing great. Same old, same old. We're just cranking away.
What did you guys get your deal done on 13th? I'm curious on that one.
So we're funded there. We're pivoting a little bit. We're still talking to builders about buying that one. And there are parties that are still interested, so that we may end up exiting with a profit early. We're also, yeah, no, we'd probably just sell. But we also have a builder who we really like, and who's standing by at the ready to build for us. So we're costing out the project right now. I'm working with some funding sources for the construction funds on that. Actually, that one in the Rainier Valley, and a new one that we just picked up in Ballard. So, Crown
Hill or Crown Hill, you mean, or Ballard?
No, this is Ballard.
Oh, Ballard, the old BB. Nice. Okay.
That's right.
Cool.
So yeah, just working like crazy to get a direction on those. Ideally, we prefer to trade out of properties right now, but if we can't trade out of them easily, then we will build them out ourselves, and that's what we're doing.
Awesome. Okay. Well, don't use Kirk too much. That's my guy.
Yeah, I understand. And he's going on vacation here, so he's going to be nobody's guy for a while.
I know. We're joking here. We all share. We love. All right. Yeah. Anybody else need anything? Anybody have anything else they want to talk about before we jump off? We're a little running over here, which is fine. Anybody out there like, so I'm really into asset diversification right now. We all talk real estate all the time, and there's lots of real estate people, even how I grew up in real estate with a private real estate investment company and all that, 100% real estate. I invest nothing in the stock market, nothing anywhere else, right? I myself am more diversified, and I'm enjoying the diversification, and I'm enjoying learning about how to allocate my assets. So I'm diversified a little bit outside of real estate or whatever. And one of those alternative asset classes is Bitcoin. Has anybody here dipped their toe in the Bitcoin water? I have not. I'm in the process of doing my deep dive study. I think that blockchain obviously is here to stay, and the currency situation is going to change. There's some really interesting stuff out there with, like, Facebook has a think tank of a bunch of other smarty pantses that have created some side mastermind trying to figure out how to move into other countries, which are, you know, they would, you know, with this whole Facebook's making its own coin. And right now, I don't think people think of Bitcoin as like a currency because the value fluctuates so much. It's more of an alternative investment insurance. It's an insurance thought. What do you think, Rick? I'm very interested in side chats with people about all this. In fact, I've made my 12-year-old girls a deal with them that if that one of them is studying Bitcoin and blockchain for 30 minutes a day until their birthday in July, and then they have to give me a presentation about the pros and cons and everything they've learned, and I'm going to let them get this fucking pet rat. That's what I'm saying. But it's forcing them to educate themselves about what I believe is going to be very important in their future, and being ahead of the game and understanding all that as little people. And they're smart enough to go with it. Anybody want to have side chat with me about that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. And about kids and levers. I mean, raising kids is all about finding their levers. Your
Right.
lever is a rat.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
hysterical.
luxurious rat.
Hey, Julie, remember Christian? I was dating him for years.
I don't know if I remember him.
Yeah, shorter guy. Anyway, that's funny, poor guy. Anyway, he knows a lot about it, and he's very well read and very conservative in his thinking.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk to him, he's happy to share.
You know what I want to do is I want to do one day, like, hey guys, I'm going to set up a Zoom and I want to talk about Bitcoin. I want somebody to teach me everything they know, and I want to have a little side chat. So I'll announce it on SFB. Huh?
Yeah. He's been part of it for a while. So
cool. Yeah. Super interested in all that sort of stuff. I don't own any, but I feel like if I'm an idiot, I'm old school, you know, and if I am paying attention to it, and I'm an idiot in regards to all that kind of stuff, then everybody's going to be paying attention to it very soon. And the major players around the world are having sidebar think tanks about all this, and the banks are going to be developing their own coins. I mean, the writing is on the wall. And if there's a way to get involved as an investor now, I want to know what it is, right? And assess the risks and whatever else, right? So I don't know. I'm a dork. I like to talk about that sort of stuff. Anybody else? Then I'm going to jump back to my problems now that Keith is gone and jumped off. I gotta go tell my guy I don't think he should buy this deal. And we thought this morning we were going to buy it because I don't think the seller, I can't wait to report back to you guys, but gonna go get in a dueling match here. Anybody else? Bye guys. Thanks for showing up. It's always fun. Sorry I did all the talking today. I'm hyper.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks.
All
That
right,
was
guys.
very educational.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Talk to you later about Bitcoin.